Check it out. Come and check us out as we think it's a sports show. Come see what we about. Check it out. Come and check us out as we think it's a sports show. Come see what we about. Hey, Mike, Rad, Mills, Preach. Come check us out so you can see how everybody think. Mike, Rad, Mills, Preach. The show's about to start, so everybody take a seat.
And yes, we are back. We are back. And this is the host pod. Y'all been seeing us a lot, doing bills, doing fantasy, but this is We Think It's a Sports Show. I'm your host, Mike D, and we got another great show for you, at least great topics. We're going to see how the show is, and it might be 2 hours long. So bear with us. A lot of topics. I'm sure a lot of opinions. Come on, Preach. I'm just getting ready. It might be 2 hours. It might be an hour and a half. It might be 2 hours. So, say we got a packed show. Y'all know the cast or know the crew. So let's get into the weekend. Rad, how was your weekend, man? You had a big weekend 2 weekends ago. Did you match it? Did you buy a private jet? What did you do this weekend?
What? Nah, my I was on vacation. Okay. Ended vacation, I guess, the end of the week, whatever. Around the end of my vacation, it was good. It was just a good week, a good week. You know, like it was just refreshing to get over. Last week was a big deal, and then moving on, that there's even more stuff to get done, more goals to get done. You know, realizing that the next week is always good too. So. Great week, man. Can't complain.
I know you don't get too high, you don't get too low, but you did, like I said, you did have a crazy weekend the weekend before between getting engaged and putting down a house. Did you feel like almost a release after? Because I mean, you and Salt been together for a long time, so I know you asking her to marry you probably wasn't like the scariest thing you ever did.
Yeah.
But like you had that and closing on a house in the same weekend, like. You know, this weekend, and you was on vacation. Hopefully, you put your feet up some and relaxed.
Yeah. No, yeah. I don't know. It's weird because you think that's how it would be. You know, I remember like the process of buying a house. Like, so I started like 3.5 years ago, as far as getting my credit better. Then I became a realtor. I got my real estate agent license. And then the next year I got my house because it was like it all culminated. Like I saw the process, the plan, like it was like a plan, and it like each step of the way, and it had to come true. Like it's the part of the plan. So I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing it different than just it happened by like circumstances. Just like it was a plan that I put together. So you know that's how it's supposed to work, right? Put the plan together, execute the plan, and there you go.
I like that. Yeah, I want to dig into that at a later date. Because, like I said, setting a plan and following it and actually seeing it come through, I think a lot of people don't do that. So I definitely want to hear that story, how you stay committed to it. All right, Preach. How was your weekend, bro?
It was cool. I can't complain. We had some things going here at the church that I, had to do, but so it was a little busy. But other than that, it was chill. I was able to kind of relax a little bit. But yeah, I can't complain.
See, I'm jealous of y'all too. I couldn't relax because I had 2 fantasy drafts. So for me, that's work. So I was working all weekend, and I got another A-. I can't wait to talk about it. I went with double tight ends, man. I'm loving my double tight ends. So this time I got Kelsey and Mark Andrews.
He stole that from me.
I did. Yo, Preach, every draft I go into, I try to get double tight ends. I appreciate that. I appreciate you for
They both might get double digits touchdowns too. They both will get 10,
I am
12.
A- and best draft in the league again. So I'm feeling good. All right, because Millie, how was your weekend, bro?
Just like Rad, I was on vacation. It started off pretty good. While on vacation, I made a move. Me and the wife, we moved to a different side of town. Once we got here, though, my weekend kind of went downhill. I became like
a lick.
If that's the word you want to use, it was a very disrespectful situation, and I never felt this disrespected in my life. Like I said, we moved in on Friday. That Saturday morning, there was actually a family that was walking around the apartment complex ringing doorbells, trying to see who owner of a vehicle was. They ended up approaching my wife's sister, saying, "Hey, do you know who vehicle this is?" She's like, "Yeah, that's my brother-in-law." And they came around the doorbell, and like when we got to the door, was nobody. We couldn't see nobody, so we're like, "Okay, she playing games." I'm like, "Lex, I'm not opening the door. You can go play with your sister because I don't got time for it." But then when we open the door, it's a family of probably about was it 5 people outside, and they're Caucasian people, so we're kind of and they didn't have like no sugar, no cake, no nothing like that. So we're like, what is these people here for? And I mean, we've been here 12 hours. Like, what do you want? And I mean, so they like, yo, you might want to come out here. I'm like, for what? I don't even got no shirt on. They're like, no, these kids broke into your car. I'm like, nah, forget a shirt. Let's go. What's going on? So I go out the door, and the father, talking to me like, oh, my knucklehead kids did this, did that. They broke into your car last night. They took some of your merchandise, and we're just here to bring it back. I'm like, they did what? I said, I never got robbed a day in my life. Like, I just moved to East Amherst, which is, for those of you that don't know, it's a better part of New York.
It was considered a couple years ago to be one of the safest places in the United States.
So yeah, safe. I don't know, not no more. These kids are about 12 years old. There's about 12 young kids. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you at East Amherst, like Sam said, one of the safest places. And how do you even have, theft in your mindset at that age? I mean, I understand a lot of people see it on TV. They probably playing Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that. But, I mean, you would assume that their parents, are raising them a little better, especially in that area. They probably going to a good school, getting a good education, stuff like that. But these two knuckleheads decided to break into my car and take stuff that does not belong to them. And I was furious. I said, yo, I never been disrespected a day in my life like this. I never got robbed a day in my life. And if they weren't 12, they would have got punched right in front of their parents. And I'm just keeping it a buck. Like, both of them. But I do appreciate the parents, doing what parents do, check their kids' belongings, finding stuff that does not belong to them and getting it back to the, to the owner. Because like I said, they was walking throughout the apartment complex trying to find the owner of the vehicle. But I do appreciate that. But your kids are definitely knuckleheads, and I should have punched them.
So you didn't say what was stolen. Were you purposely omitting that? Like, you don't want people to know what they took from you?
Correct. I omitted it on purpose.
All right. Okay. So I won't bring it up then, because it was like it was some shit, bro. Like, I know excuse my language, but like, yo, they were wilding. Like, stuff could have went totally left. But so
correct.
I would say when you steal stuff, you steal generally everything. So I don't see how what they did was any different.
One thing that I could say that they did steal that I really did not understand, and it confused the hell out of me, is they stole one sneaker. Like, the other sneaker was not there. They took the right sneaker and left the left. And like I said, they 12, so I know they don't wear a size 11. So I don't.
But
know
you got everything back.
I got cousins that wear a size 12. That's like 12.
But the thing is, they took one. Was they gonna put it on their mantle and put a flower in it or something? Like, what you gonna do with one shoe?
If I can find, I mean,
well,
bro, you've been 12 before, man.
It is reason behind it, right? Especially with Rad said in our group message, a reason why they may have only took the one. But that's neither here or there. The fact that they was in your car to begin with is the issue. So you said, well, for one, do anyone want to say anything to Mills about that?
I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, man, I'm happy you got your things back, your possessions back. Hopefully you're a good peace of mind. I don't know how you're gonna get that, but hopefully you figure that out. Especially your first day being there. I'm sure it's like a 2-3 year lease too, so it ain't like you going no.
Yo, it was so bad. I told my wife,
what?
Like, yo,
said, what?
We going back to the leasing office and we're moving out tonight. Like, I just got robbed in 12 hours. I don't want to stay here. We out.
Mills, you signed a 3-year lease?
No, Rad tripping. I don't know.
I thought 2 year. You thought 2 year lease? Or was it just 1 year to year?
Lock your doors.
It's a year lease, bro.
Oh,
Start
okay.
there. Lock your doors.
Yeah, lock your doors. So But Mills, you also didn't talk about when you were moving in. Did you purposely omit that as well, or you just forgot?
Oh, I honestly forgot about that part. I'm sorry. Well, that whole situation really didn't occur with me. My help actually got to the apartment prior
Your
to
friends, Mills.
Yo, Mills,
Like you're wilding.
Oh,
Like,
he been in East Amherst
Yeah,
2 days,
yeah,
and now
yeah.
he got help.
Amherst for
Yo,
2
help.
days. Your
friends?
help?
Now he got help.
It was Buck.
my friend.
That's
You had
crazy.
Buck help you. The help?
That's
My fr-
crazy.
my friends-
dog.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
My
Well, he
friends
feels
that
safe
came
now,
to
huh?
my
That's
friends that
crazy.
came to
Mills
help me.
amongst his own now.
My-
Talking freely.
My friends that came to assist me said when they pulled up, that neighbors were out, just came out their house just to see who was there. And when I did pull up, there was one lady that stuck her head out the window, and she literally looked at us for about 15 minutes. And then she came on the porch like she was watering flowers. Like, you weren't watering flowers. It was raining a little bit. What you watering your flowers for? You know what I mean? And then they said there was one guy with a dog that walked around the block probably 3 or 4 times, just looking at him while we were moving in. And when I told everybody the story and everything like that, they asked, was it that guy that was walking around with a dog? Because he was peeping us out for a minute. You know what I mean? But I let them know, it wasn't them. I don't know who the person was, but yeah.
And
So they felt a lot of them felt there was a setup, They felt that, people were plotting on me but I mean, who knows?
well, Amherst was voted the safest place in America like 4 years in a row. I'm just looked it up, like 4 years in a row. So
In America?
in America, so, like, bro, it's like almost zero crime there. So, and it's very segregated, right? So with you moving in, I'm sure it's like, like what is this? Like here comes our gentrification type of thing. So, and they put a very, very old, antic on you, threatening antic. It's a show called Lovecraft. Have you heard about it on HBO?
No.
Yeah. I heard
It's not a great show, great writing or anything, but it's just different. Like it's black sci-fi, which I'm not totally used to. So I'm enjoying it. But even on there, they show what the mixed mulatto woman bought a house in an all-white neighborhood, and she did it on Sunday. So that because everybody was at church. And as soon as they got back, the whole block was outside, just staring at them, honking their horn. So like that antic of just watching you move in, letting you know, like, yeah, we got eyes on you. It's a very old antic. I'm sorry you had to go through that, bro. But so for the culture,
bust down, I went and bought a new paddock. Money pounds, spending like we never had it. It's perfect timing, put more work into the passion. Now we shining, leader of the new addicts. Bust down, I went and bought a new paddock. Spending like we never had it. Put more work into the passion. Now we shining, leader of the new addicts.
do something a little different, right? Normally, I ask you guys questions, which you bring in, and we talk about it. But since Mills went through that, I do have a question, right? Because I moved away from Buffalo, and I live in a all-white suburb myself, Mills. Nothing ever happened to me like that, but I do also lock my doors. But I want to ask y'all about, quote unquote, the black flight, right? It's the black people that, reach a certain economic status and then immediately go get an apartment and a house, whatever the case may be, in normally like a middle-class white suburb. And you hear about it. Nipsey talked about it a lot. Other people talk about it a lot. I've seen an interview with Boosie, which I don't care for Boosie, but he talked about when you get money. What? Reach you like Boosie? It's like when you get money, get out the hood. It was like his number one advice: get money, get out the hood. So I guess let me go back to you, Mills, because you lived in Orchard Park, another all white, predominantly white, neighborhood. Now you in East Amherst, and you grew up in Cold Springs, like a hood of Buffalo. Why do you feel the need, like you have to be in do you feel like that, or is it kind of just circumstance of where houses are popping up for you to rent, or are you seeking out, areas that is predominantly white to live in?
Well, me and my wife been living together for a couple of years, so the decision comes, collectively. We sit down and talk about it. And one of the biggest reasons why we do make the moves to those specific locations, Orchard Park, East Amherst. One is because the crime rate is not as high. Uh, Also, one of the major factors that we thought about is the noise. Uh, with her being in school, I was in school at the moment, church and everything like that, trying to study. It's normally quiet pretty much majority of the time. Most of these areas, they have like a certain time limit when they expect you, to lower your music.
That's most areas.
Not in the hood, bro.
No, you supposed to. People, they just don't though.
Well, okay. Well, people in these areas, they actually, abide by that rule or whatever you want to call it. So it mostly came our choices were, quiet neighborhood, a clean neighborhood, somewhere where we had children. We wouldn't mind them, going outside. We got to worry about them tripping over glass or cutting their finger, stuff like that. Also, one of the biggest things was we wanted something nice. In the areas that I grew up in, most of the homeowners, not throwing any shade, are like Indians or foreigners. Like they're just buying these houses. They're not really taking care of them, and they're renting them out for $800, $900, and it's just a piece of crap. And we want quality for what we pay for. So those are pretty much the big reasons why we move to these areas that we do move into.
No, I've heard that in Buffalo Mills that a lot of I think they said Arabic people were buying up the houses at the auctions and renting them out for low and not really keeping them up.
Yeah, slumlords.
Slumlords, okay. So I don't know if the people were Arabic or not. I'm just secondhand information out there. All right, so Rad, you just bought a house. What went into your decision on where you located?
Location. For one, when you buying a property, so you want to have a place where it's resale value, right? So in real estate they say is location, right? So you can have a bad house in a viable neighborhood, that people would overpaid in a good house in a bad neighborhood. So that went into my strategically that went into my thinking. But also, a lot what Mill said, you want a nice environment. You want a place where your kids can go outside and have in a backyard, a decent backyard, or in the front, just a decent neighborhood where just crime is low. Ultimately, it wasn't a black or white thing. It's like, crime is low. So, and safe. It's a safer environment. It's that simple. Like in Buffalo, it's a clear. And Buffalo is a clear line. It's a clear segregation line. You understand South Buffalo, North, East, West Side.
West.
All of it is clearly where you want to go. It's clear. It's clear as segregated. I think it's one of the most segregated cities in America.
Racist cities too.
Yeah. So you just know, and I think y'all remember the show, The Wire, Amsterdam. Buffalo, the east side of Buffalo is Amsterdam, straight up.
No, Amsterdam, New Amsterdam.
Yeah, it's the 14215, the 142, all those area codes. So nothing that goes on over there matters. You just tell how just the cops react to things. So they treat that as Amsterdam. That's the worst. Buffalo is one of the most dangerous and most poor cities in America, and it's primarily because of the east side of Buffalo is one main area that is all focalized in, and I don't think that's by mistake. So I just try to get out of that.
Hold on, Priest, I'm coming right to you. But I came home 2 weeks ago because of my personal issues, bro. When I tell you, for one, I see more cop cars in my couple weekends in Buffalo, just being at my mom Duke's house on Cortland. Oh, I probably shouldn't be saying that. My mom Duke's house. Then in my whole time here in Michigan, bro, like where I live at, cops don't patrol at all. So, and then secondly, Marcus made fun of me because I couldn't drive anymore, right? Like you have to be a little bit more aggressive, especially like on the east side of Buffalo. You're talking about, and but like I was stopping at stop signs, 3-4 cars would go right by me because they didn't think I was going. And like, no, bro, I'm just waiting for y'all to stop. And like I wasn't used to that. Mark's like, yo, you good? Like you forgot how to drive, and I really did. Like I said, east side of Buffalo, right? I tell you, that's different. It's a different area, it's different jungle, and man, us four, we turned out good.
It's real poor. It's real poor. It's like when you just compare it, it's very poor.
Okay, we gotta relax.
So, all right. So Preach, we gotta like. So Preach first.
It is. That's a fact.
Do you want to respond to what Mills and Rad say, or do you want me to pose a question to you?
I need to respond first.
Okay.
I'll say this. Oh, one of the major things as far as looking at a house and depending on where you stay, more so for me would be schools, right? Like the one thing that certain neighborhoods or certain suburbs of Buffalo probably in some capacity, and it's weird that we say that is because we went to a good school or what we would consider a good school, but I will concede that in other locations it's just a fact that they are more college ready in certain areas. That's just a fact. So schools would be the biggest thing for me. Mm-hmm. But as far as the east side of Buffalo, I think we pushed that a little bit too far, in my opinion. Simply because one, the east side of Buffalo is not necessarily the most poor side. It's just not. Now, you can look at. I mean, there are tons of diagrams. You can go online and see it for yourself. South Buffalo is bad. It's really, really bad. And actually, the west side is bad too.
Crime though. What I mean, poor and crime.
It's crime on the west side all the time. Just go down Niagara, Prospect, any of those streets, you'll see it. But my point is this: there are a ton of nice places on the east side of Buffalo, like tons. Like they're littered. They're everywhere, and I think sometimes it gets a bad rap because, I mean, people live comfortably for years. I mean, I'm not saying that crime doesn't necessarily happen, but I'm just saying, like for me, like Mills, have you've been in a fight in your entire life? You've been in a fight, right? You've been in a fight, Mike?
Yeah, I dropped somebody one time. Well, back in the day, though, I dust these joints off in a minute. That's all I'm saying, but go ahead.
Rad, you've been in a fight?
You didn't ask me that.
Barely, not really.
So no, two people. So okay, just in that sense, you grew up on the east side of Buffalo, right?
That's a fact.
I grew up on the east side of Buffalo.
All around it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call mine a fight though. It was a one-hitter quitter.
Okay.
Straight out.
Okay. Mills, Mills is from the Springs, but that's neither here nor there. But
I lived in the mall. I lived in Central Park. I lived in Dodge area. I know.
But my point is, I've never been in a fight. Rad has never been in a fight. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like,
very anecdotal.
Sam, right? That's very coming from that.
No, yeah, exactly. my point is
because our friends fought every weekend. I don't for 2 years.
Well, we all have friends, so I mean, it just depends on what friends you're referring to. So my point is this. Is the east side of Buffalo is not necessarily that bad, and not to mention, I know Rad said location. The location of some of these places in the east side is way better than where anybody is moving to. I mean, I'm talking about like the property value is going skyrocket. If you go on Genesee, I mean, I have a pastor who's building there. I know we getting away from it, but I have a pastor who's building there, and the property value is skyrocketing. So I don't want to like.
That's everywhere. That's everywhere. That's everywhere. Yes, it is. No, I just literally was looking for houses. The property value is jumping up. Houses is going.
You saying in Buffalo?
Around. I'm talking about everything is hot. Everything is up. The market is up. Far as in real estate and buying houses is up. If you sold your house, if you bought a house for $90,000. 5 years ago, it's going for 150 right now. Like that's how much.
That's not necessarily everywhere, but I get what you're saying. It's not everywhere, right? I mean, it's not true.
I literally just in the process of buying a house. Is pretty much everywhere.
If you go on Sobieski, it's not a fact. Like it's just not a fact over there. If you go on A Street, B Street, C Street, that's not a. I mean, you just
don't get too niche. We don't want to get too niche.
I'm just saying that's just not the fact. But nonetheless, Mike,
Yeah.
you can pose your question.
Oh no, it's just like, okay, I guess males live in one. Rad just bought a house. I guess let me ask you, for the people, because it seemed like you're anti quote unquote black flight, but you like, yo, it's
I didn't
some.
say that.
I know, no. I'm not saying. It sounds like just from how you were speaking. It's not saying that you are anti it, but you're saying like, yo, it's some spots and the east side that you can get that's nice.
The mayor lives in Buffalo.
That the
Yes,
crime is low.
Like,
So the people that do.
But that's
I know, but hold on. Let me.
misinterpret that.
Yeah,
You
it is.
can't-
It is. But
how is
let
that
me-
misinterpreted? How?
Let me
That is
ask
the east
you
side of
that.
Buffalo.
Because it's
Blaine Street is
reserved
east
for certain
side.
people, bro.
No, it
Come
is
on, bro.
not. You can buy a
Damn.
house over there.
Preach.
All right,
preach.
Sam.
You gotta stop yelling, bro.
But I don't understand what he's saying. That is not reserved for anybody. People buy houses over there all the time.
All right, bro.
What are you talking about?
Preach. My question is, besides crime, what other reasons do you think people do move from a black area to a white area?
School.
Because and I want to reference back to something Nick Cannon said maybe a couple years ago. He said that a lot of black men date white women because they look at it as a feeling of success. Like, I made it. That what Nick said. I think it's a very slave, almost Jim Crow, mindset, right? When white people accept me, that's mean that I've made it. And that was his point. Do you think that has anything to do with maybe not males and rap, but the reason why black people do move because they feel like, I got to get to this area. That means that I've made it. I'm out the hood. I made it.
Yes, it is a rite of passage of sorts. And I don't necessarily blame people who've done it simply because that's what was ingrained in us. That's what was taught to us. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is those places generally cost more. So essentially, sometimes we equate, value with how much you paid for something, right? I mean that's just how. I mean, in most cases, right? As far as dealing with the house, like if I tell you I paid $400,000 for a house, you would say that better be that should be a pretty decent. That should be a nice house. You should have certain things that come along with it. So I think so I personally, like you say, crime. I think schools is a huge factor. Like I know tons of people who moved, and I'm talking about teachers. You know what I'm saying? Who literally teach in Buffalo public schools, but they'll send their kids to another place, right? So I mean, like principals, like who you are a principal in a Buffalo public school, but you don't want your kid to go there.
That's probably
that's
a problem, bro. That's a problem.
Well, however you want to slice it, what I'm saying is they believe, and that's what they believe is just it's a fact that this particular school does better. Like I mean, it is.
But you're the teacher of this. You're the teacher.
No. I'm not saying that it's
crazy.
I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just stating the facts. You know what I'm saying? I'm just laying out the facts.
I guess if I'm running a business, or like say if I work at McDonald's, right, and be like, I'm selling all this McDonald's, and somebody, have you ever tried it? Like, no, I would never eat this. Like, should I be eating this? Like, if you won't send your kids there, why? Like, okay, we don't got to get into that.
No, that's not fair because what I'm saying is
it's very fair. If you teach in a city, you should live in a city. Period.
But live in the city is one thing. Sending your kids to different schools is another thing.
No, if you live in the city, you have to send your kid to city schools.
No, you don't. You can send them to city. You can send them to Canisius. I mean, you can send them to any private institution.
But that's different. Obviously.
That's a better
I'm talking
school.
about public. I'm talking about public.
My point is, I'm not so fond of sending my child to a Buffalo public school, and I was raised in a Buffalo public school.
And that's fine. You're not teaching in it though. But that's fine. If you teach like a firefighter, a cop, if you're a cop now, if you're a firefighter now, you gotta live in the city. You can't live in Williamson will come police people in Buffalo. You can't do that. You shouldn't be able to live in Orchard Park and to come teach black kids in the city of Buffalo, then go back to Orchard Park. That's stupid.
My son's mother, she teaches in Buffalo, and she doesn't want to send our son to a Buffalo public school. So I mean, like, and we grew up in Buffalo public schools. So my point is, if these schools are better, are y'all missing that?
I agree.
Okay, all right,
But you shouldn't. But as a teacher, you should be able to live in your city.
You have to live in your city.
You don't have.
Well, actually, you don't.
Not.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
That's what I'm saying. They do the same thing for cops and for firemen. It's the same thing. You got to live in the city.
It used to be, but they stopped that.
I respect that. I respect that, right? Like I get both sides, right? It's if you got a great teacher that lives in Orchard Park, like why wouldn't you want them at your school? But at the same time, like I want my kids to be taught by somebody that I think can actually care about them and can actually teach them. Did Mills just put on glasses? What just happened?
Yeah, my eyes are starting.
It's because
Too much school. We talk about too much education.
It's because of the neighborhood he's in. You got to look at certain way.
I would say this just to put a bow on it, I guess. I do live in a predominantly white area, and I'm with Preach, but like when my lease is up, I'm definitely looking. It's a black suburb where like Angie mom live. I think we think about moving to because it's the passive aggressive for me, right? Mills, you actually dealt with people stealing your stuff. Like that's different. Like that. Well, that's worse than what we dealing with. But I came on here maybe a couple of shows ago saying that Angie and I walk every morning around 6:30, right? And since we started that, the amount of Trump 2020 and American flags has maybe, I don't know, increased by 100%. It could be close to the election time. Maybe that's why, but I doubt it because the amount of the Black Lives Matter, like lawn signs and different things has also increased. And those people come outside. And this is why I think it's not related to politics, Preach. Is because they come outside and they say like, yo, we really appreciate y'all for walking. It's like, no, you guys are inspiring us. And I don't think they talking about, exercising.
Are these African American people?
No, I live in like, it's me. Like, I had black neighbors.
Okay.
And they just moved and they got replaced. Some white people bought a house. And the first thing they said to Angie was, we good people. Now I don't trust that at all. Anybody that's telling me that they are a good person right away is probably not a good person. But so
Mike, that's not fair.
Preach. I'll meet you like, hey, don't worry about me. I'm straight. Like what? Like hold on, bro. Like
I think listen, and I'm gonna be honest.
Maybe it's the climate that now
it's the climate. You got a dog. You gotta tell me what's up. Are you one of them?
So we gonna see. We gonna see. We gonna see.
I mean, they don't know what to do.
No, I know, and you might be right. But I just feel like if you're a good person, you don't have to tell somebody you're a good person. But like I said, so like Dad came out saying like, no, we look forward to seeing you guys walk, and you keep walking. But we get like stares, and people has literally stared us down. People in cars has literally stopped.
Surprised?
No, I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. But what I'm saying is that I don't know if I want to put up with this, right? Cause at least in the hood, I know normally who is against me, who I need to watch out for, because I grew up in it. But with here, I don't know who is who. I don't know who's going to the Black Lives Matter house. I don't know who's going to the Blue Lives Matter house. Like even Blue Lives Matter, bro. There's so many Blue Lives Matter flag out here now. It's crazy. So I do think that we will move to a black suburb once our lease is up. I love my landlord, is dope. My street is pretty inclusive, but I don't know, just the whole, I moved to a white area. Okay, I'm gonna say low crime area because I was moving to a different city. If I was in Buffalo, I don't know what I would have did. If I was Mills, I was Rad. Would I have stayed in the east side somewhere?
No, you wouldn't have, Mike.
I probably not.
You would not have. Yeah.
But now that I've seen the other side of it, it's like, okay, if I can't find that black suburb, like Preacher's talking about, where the mayor is at, if I know polling cars, so I might get in. But if I could get somewhere like that, I would prefer to be there.
Bro, the mayor is not
in
in
this
black
middle class.
He's in Hamlin Park. He's bugging right now.
What are we talking
He's in
about?
Hamlin Park.
Like, Keith Suarez got robbed right around the corner. What are we talking about? Keith Suarez. They
Yo, Delphi, I done see a couple boys get knocked out at that Delavan station right there.
Talking about like
You're
what are we
right.
talking about?
But
Like,
I don't know what you're talking about, Sam.
yeah, but
I don't get
it's
it.
similar. It's similar to Detroit. It's like a good black neighborhood, and it's like, yo, is this 8 Mile to like another like suburb?
That's how it
like,
is.
Stadium, like
That's how it
it's
is.
pockets of good, bad, good,
That's
bad.
exactly how it is. Especially downtown in that Jefferson area, you got houses that got one house on the block, and then across the street on the other end is beautiful new builds that was built in '99. So it's like it's crazy. That's how it is.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
But what I'm okay, all right, Mike.
Nah, I feel you. But Mills, like I said, we sorry we went through that. We're glad you got all your stuff back. Lock your doors, and bro, we just praying for you. I walk with the sticky myself. I advise you to do the same, my brother. All right, let's move.
I gotta relax.
Let's move into sports. We're gonna move into sports. That's good, Coach Roundtable. I appreciate it. We're gonna move into sports, but not really. And Preach, Mills, I want to come to you first about this, right? Because Richard Jefferson keep popping up in my timeline of his quotes. And I'm like, yo, who cares about what Richard Jefferson is saying? But he keep popping up. And he was responding to something that I seen from Stephen A. And pretty much Stephen A said that Steve Nash getting hired by the Brooklyn Nets was an example of white privilege. So he laid out some examples of why. But I don't want to, I guess, sway your answer, Mills. I just want to go to you and just get what you think. Did you think when you seen the Steve Nash hire that it was quote unquote white privilege, or was it like, oh, is this Steve Nash? Like it makes sense for them to hire him. What do you think about that?
First time I heard it, I was like, congrats. I honestly think that he deserves it. Everybody starts off somewhere. So there years back or whatever you want to think, wherever you look back to, there was somebody that became a coach right out of the NBA. No prior experience or anything like that. And if you look at, Steve Nash accolades.
Is there some examples of that?
Yes, and as soon as Mills is done, I will give you those examples.
All right. You keep going in, Mills.
Oh, I mean, if you look at his accolades and stuff like that, he's a great player. You can understand that he knows the game. 2-time NBA most valuable player, 8-time NBA All-Star, 3-time All NBA first team, 2-time All NBA second team, and the list goes on and goes on. You know what I'm saying? Steve Nash is a great player. And truth be told, I was told in high school that point guards has to be the most knowledgeable player on the floor. They get that title, the general. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
We had a player on our team that was called the general. They lead the team. They're just that leader. And Steve Nash has that resume. Like I just read off his resume. Like he has that resume. He's that leader. He can take you somewhere, in my opinion. So was he the most qualified for the job? I mean, I don't know. But is it a bad choice? No. I honestly think it was a good choice. Was there better people out there that may have been? But in this time, I mean, you got to take a risk. I mean, in life, risks have to be taken sometimes. Is it a good risk? I don't know. But Steve Nash probably going to be great, man. They might be the NBA champions in the next 2 years. Who knows?
I got two things I gotta say to Mills. For one, people told me that we gotta stop cutting you off, so that's why I let you keep going. But bro, like you be saying some of the funniest things I ever heard. And then two, do you think Preach was the most knowledgeable person on our team? Because
no.
he. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, no, wait. I take it back. I take it back.
What are you talking about?
I take that back. He was a very smart, knowledgeable person. He had it up here how to win games.
Like
he had it up here.
A basketball savant.
But he didn't put it into play because he was selfish. But he had it here.
Oh my God. Yo, is this a referendum?
So as a basketball IQ, who you think had the highest on the team?
I did, Mike. Okay. Can I?
Mills. I won't put you on the spot, Mills. I know you're gonna say me. I won't put you on the spot. All right, Preach. So you say you was gonna respond or name to name.
Let me do this real quickly. Steve Nash is a coach for the Brooklyn Nets because of one person. His name is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is really good friends with Steve Nash. Kevin Durant hand-selected him. That's why he's the coach. That's how things work in the NBA. I don't know if y'all knew that. Also, with that being said, Steve Nash is Canadian. The Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, they want to tap into the Canadian market. So you get a Canadian coach. I mean, y'all laughing. Y'all think it's funny, but it's a fact. Like, I'm talking business. I'm talking dollars. I'm talking dollars. These are facts.
They want to tap what? Are they gonna play Bon Jovi music only too? Like,
No.
what are you talking about?
I mean, y'all think it's funny, but these are facts. These are facts. These are
Do
facts.
they not have a? What about the Raptors? Just forget the Raptors.
But that's why they see it's a lucrative market, and they want the Brooklyn Nets to tap into that market. I mean, it's facts. But anyway, I mean, y'all.
Oh my! Yeah,
Okay,
I'm crying.
if y'all don't know the GM of the Brooklyn Nets, and y'all don't understand the ins and outs of it.
I know Sean Marks. That's my guy. I know Sean Marks.
Okay, he's connected with a lot of people. And I'm just telling you, I know business, and I see a business play when I see.
I'm
it. But anyway,
sorry, bro.
okay, I mean, I don't know, right? So anyway, to respond to Mills, not necessarily respond, but in the history of the league, let me say this on the onset. White privilege exists. Do white or Caucasian men get positions because of white privilege? Yes, that is true as well. But when it comes to the NBA and hiring a coach who was a player, there have been more black players who have been hired with no experience as a head coach. That is a fact. I will name them. Derek Fisher, 2014. Jason Kidd.
Can you give the? Do you have the team names too?
Derek Fisher, New York, 2014. Jason Kidd, Brooklyn, ironically, 2013. Mark Jackson, no experience, Golden State, 2011. Isaiah Thomas, 2000, Indiana. Doc Rivers, Orlando, 1999. M.L. Carr, Boston, 95. Magic Johnson, L.A., 94. Quinn Buckner, 93. Paul Silas, 1980. I mean, the only white players is Dick Van Arsdale, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Vinny Del Negro, and Steve Kerr and Steve Nash. So I mean, it is a lot more black. What were you gonna say, Mike? I'm just telling you.
I say Steve Kerr was a GM though, right? At Phoenix.
Yeah, he has some experience, but what I'm saying is no coaching experience.
Okay.
The whole point is there have been more black players that have become coaches with no experience, right? So that's all I'm saying. Now, to the question, should Steve Nash be the coach? That's neither here nor there. There is a lot of coaches that shouldn't be the coach, right? I mean, that the people hire bad coaches literally all the time. Do I think that white males get more positions in that respect? Absolutely, without question. So I mean, I don't know really what we're arguing, like what we're trying to get at.
Well, nobody arguing yet.
No, I'm just saying I don't know what we're trying to get at. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, was it right privilege? Well, you saying it's not?
I don't
agree?
think. What I'm saying is this instant is not necessarily white privilege. This particular this lonesome instance.
Yeah, but preach. I love you, but you are not the gatekeeper on what's white privilege and what's not.
Yes, I am.
So,
and not only am I. The fact of the matter is that Kevin Durant wanted Steve Nash to be the coach. That's why he.
All right, you laid out your argument. Now it's up to Rad to see like what's Rad.
Well, he can't dispute that fact. It's a fact.
Well, I give him a chance. You know, he didn't even give his point yet. Breach, what are you talking about? Let Rad dispute it. Rad may agree with you. I don't know.
Okay, y'all gotta follow me on this one.
My God, but to be some him in there.
So my Canadian, you couldn't follow me on that. You couldn't follow me
that
on
was that was left field. That was left field. What are you talking about? That was left field. But y'all gotta follow me on this one. It might be not the. I don't know. I'm going to say it anyway. Mm-hmm. I'm not the biggest fan of the word white privilege. I'm not the biggest fan of the word white privilege. I think it just.
Do you like black privilege?
No, it comes. You say what?
Do you like black privilege?
Ignore preach.
No, I don't like the word white privilege. It comes with, I think, other things. Like it's just in the neighborhood of white supremacy. Like I think it's a triggering word on both sides. I think as a black person, when you hear white privilege, you think like racism afoot. Like, it's
Does it
something.
exist?
Listen to me. Yes, it
yo,
is. I'm not finished.
yo, let him follow. We gotta follow him. We gotta follow him, Bree.
Jesus.
We gotta follow
I'm
him.
saying it's like
that's how the argument starts.
it's a
Bree be
triggering
wildin'.
word for both sides, because for one, it's like the white people who hear it is like, I'm white, what I'm supposed to do about it, and black people is triggered as in like racism happened, like somebody's actively racist. So like I'm trying to go to when I first heard Stephen A say is white privilege, I just immediately was like, bro, what? Like, cause it wasn't. I didn't think it was nothing crazy. It was Steve Nash, right? But because for me, it's because when I hear white privilege, I hear like a racist act just happened, like something recent. Like in most of their white privileges is like the echoes of racism. Usually just is the effects of what happened, right? And people take it as a threatening thing that's happening right now, right? So I think white privilege, it's a lot of privilege in the world, and it's like when you say white privilege to me, use it really is like. It's like putting it in a hierarchy, and it's being like one of the top privilege that you can have or something. And I just don't like it personally. But white privilege is a thing. It is a thing, and it is happening. I'm not against, the definition of it. I just think now that word has become like a trigger word, and now it's like it doesn't get nothing done because people react to the word than actually what happening. So do I agree with Stephen A? Yes, I do agree. With Stephen A. But the issue is as soon as he said white privilege, it's two opposite sides now. It's either you agree with white privilege or you don't.
There's no nuance.
There's no nuance to white privilege because the word is triggering.
So you agree with?
I agree that it was that because white privilege, because based on the definition is that he was getting to that no black coach is awarded a championship roster. No black coach without any experience is awarded this type of job. Like all the Derek Fishers of the world and all them people that you named was bad teams. There were bad teams. There wasn't having a MVP and like two NBA superstars on the team at one time. That's what he was talking about. The nuance of that. Steve Nash was awarded that. Now you saying KD wanted him to do that, but if KD was like, yo, I want Gary Payton. Y'all want Gary Payton, my coach. Do you think it'd be the same thing?
Yes.
My issue is
just like LeBron.
Hold on,
listen to me.
Yes, he asked me a question. I said yes.
Listen to me. The issue. This is what I'm saying. The issue is that it hasn't happened.
That's not true. LeBron James handpicked Ty Lue. What is he talking about?
Ty Lue had experience. What are you talking about? He was assistant coach at Clippers for 10 years before that. What are you talking about?
Has that happened? Has a player picked a coach?
Without experience, preach. Without experience.
Man, without experience. That's what we're talking about.
The question is, did he want to?
What?
You have to want to pick somebody in order to, like, if I don't want this coach, I don't want him. Like, what do you mean?
Sam, listen to. I'm just gonna just listen. Do not interrupt me. The difference between Ty Lue is he was an assistant coach for the Boston and Clippers, Matt Long, and he was the assistant coach of David Blatt. He was an assistant coach. He had a lot of experience. We talk about Steve Nash have not even assisted anything. He just helped KD to the side from game to game. Now he's the head coach. That has not happened for a black person. Like if Gary Payton, who never was an assistant coach, wanted to be the head coach, it has not happened. You had some experience for a championship level team like the Brooklyn Nets are with two superstars ready to go. Like it's almost handing him success. You handed Steve Nash success compared to handing their if Chauncey Billups wanted to become if Kenny Smith wanted to become the head coach of Brooklyn, and I don't think they didn't even interview anybody. I think they literally just hired Steve Nash.
Do you know why they didn't interview anybody? Because Kevin Durant told them he wants.
But I'm saying if it was it haven't worked for the black guy. It haven't worked for the black guy in this.
I don't know when. My only issue with what you're saying is you're not like. My point is someone said that they hand selected a person, color or not, right? Someone hand selected a coach. I don't like what. Someone hand selected him. It had nothing to do with anything. They wanted this person to be the coach. Now,
yes, but it matters if it's a yes or no in this instance because it never happened for a black guy. It never happened for a black coach.
I know
this has never happened.
Okay, then you have to. Then let's ask this question: has a powerful player such as a KD wanted, I mean, we don't know the answer, wanted a coach that did not have experience.
There's no way for us to know that. There's literally no way for us to know.
But okay. So what I'm saying is, I think that's the question. That is the question at hand, because I think that what we're saying is, when Raz said that, can I say two things, Mike? I disagree with Raz's definition of white privilege, right? I don't think that that's fair, because Raz said that white privilege is kind of one of the only privileges that's been out there, right? Or that's the biggest one. Is that what you said?
Well, Raz said that's the perception of it.
Yeah,
like,
it creates a hierarchy.
Like having two parents is privilege, but we don't call it two parent privilege, right? White privilege is like the only privilege that we really talk about.
Yeah,
that's not
being
true.
tall is a privilege. Being handsome is a privilege.
People talk about male privilege all the time. So
I never heard that.
Yeah.
Okay,
you don't hear
no. Whether you never heard of male privilege, that does not mean that that's what they're
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's not a hot topic. That's not a theme. Male privilege is not like a.
Mike, could you tell me that male privilege is a hot topic?
I'm saying it's not white privilege. Is not like a. If you see male privilege,
it's not a level of white privilege.
It's not the same level.
Have you ever been on Twitter? Black women talk about male privilege all the time. It's actually annoying. Like,
I get what you're saying, but I'm talking about it's not as polarizing.
Talk about the wage gap. What are we talking about?
Yeah, toxic masculinity is a thing.
Yes, and it's been a thing since the suffrage movement.
But nobody is saying it's not a thing. Preach.
I'm not trying to say
Black
that.
Lives Matter is the biggest thing right now. And one thing, is it not?
I guess.
Is it not?
No.
I get, bro, the NBA, NFL, they're about to sing, let every voice and sing. Like, get out of here.
It's huge. It's as big
I don't
as
know what Preach is talking about now.
Do you want to know what's the biggest thing?
No, Preach. No, I don't.
His name is
I
Donald
really
Trump.
don't.
Donald Trump is the biggest thing, if you want to be clear. But
I don't know what you even talk about anymore.
People talk about Donald Trump more than they talk about Black Lives Matter.
It's similar to the.
It got to be one-on-one. I don't know what it is.
It's similar to the Farrakhan thing. I don't know what Preach is talking about. But you said you had two things. One, you don't agree with the definition of white privilege, and what else?
You can go, Mike, because I know you got something to say.
No, you can go ahead. Like, when I go, I guess I'll kind of put a bow on it, or I want to change the course of the direction with this question. You got
that's fine. You can go.
All right. So Preach. So I guess let me come to you, and then I want to go to Mills, because Mills kind of laid out his argument, right? Mills kind of laid out his argument on why it's okay for him to get hired, and it's one thing I want to address to Mills, but we could do that later. But it's not so much in basketball, but you see it a lot in football, but sometimes in basketball, right? Do y'all think that Steve Nash is benefiting from being white, and not from the standpoint of him getting hired, but from the standpoint of his basketball IQ? Because you hear about the white athlete being cerebral a lot more, and you hear about the black athlete being a specimen. Like when LeBron is doing crazy stuff, is a lot of it is his athleticism that people talk about. But when that's what I'm saying. In basketball, you see a lot more when it's not as like in football. Or Lamar Jackson is a freak. The way he's doing is crazy. But they never talk about it, and they never talk about like the things that he is doing to trick people is part of his IQ. The way his red zone touchdowns is insane, and that's more than just being fast. Like, he make the right decision over and over again. But when you talk about a Gary Payton, we don't talk about how smart he was. But when you talk about a Steve Nash, talk about Kevin McHale, these players get, even Larry Bird, these players get lumped in that they were so smarter than everybody. Versus they just good. They just good. But when you talk about black players, a lot of times we do talk about their athleticism. Do you think that is a possibility? Is that a possibility of why Steve Nash did get the job? Because we look at him as so smart. But is he really smarter than everybody else at the way he played the game?
I believe that Steve Nash got the job because Kevin Durant wanted him to. So
okay,
that's how
accolades aside.
So what you're talking about, Mike, is called racism. So
implicit bias.
No, what you're talking about is called racism, right? Not implicit bias. It is called racism, and it's been happening for a very, 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 very long time. So I don't like when we talk about these things. Like, yeah, that's what happens. Like that's what they do. Like the dominant society. I'm putting that in air quotes for those who are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any other podcast that the audio version you listen to. I'm putting the dominant society, but the dominant society, since they're dominant, they can move the goalposts, and that's what they do. They move the goalposts. I mean, that's just it just happens. Like, in my opinion, Steve Nash should not have been a Hall of Famer. Steve Nash is garbage compared to most players. That's just my opinion. The man averaged like 15 and 12. Like, that's trash. Like, that is purely trash. If any other black player averaged 15 and 12 on that team, they would not have been the MVP, and we know that. That is a fact. That is white privilege. That is what white privilege is, right? Because the dominant society is in power, the people who vote are white, and they can move the goalposts. Because they can't do certain things that we can do, they say they're cerebral. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, Peyton Manning was cerebral. I'm not denying that. Like, he was a cerebral player. But so was so was Brian Leftwich. Like, I seen him do check downs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying he was great as him, but I seen him check down. Like, he checked down before.
No.
Yo, bro, that's you can literally say Steve McNair, bro. Like, you mess it up with
Brian Leftwich. That's
you can say whoever. You can say tomato. I say tomato. You can say whoever you want. My point is, this has been happening for forever, right? Like I don't. Granted, yes, we want things to change, and we're pushing for change, but this is what they do, y'all. Like, am I missing something?
For me, I'm not, because white privilege is such a polarizing thing. When somebody brings it up, it's almost as like it's a defensive mode, or saying, he should like take back the job. We just saying he got the job based off these facts, right? Like, people, it's a fact. I read a book about how if two people have the same qualifications, height plays an advantage. If you're a taller man, you might get the job over. Or if you're the more handsome man, them all privileges that plays a part in a lot of things. And we just bringing out the fact that you being white has a peeked his head into it. You know what I mean? And that's it is what it is. I'm not saying like it's a bad thing. You need to give it back. I'm just recognizing it, right? Because I'm a guy who not like against like nepotism and stuff like that. No, I'm not like, when I get mine, I want mine's on. That's how I feel about that. My family got something, I want them to give my family the first look. And I'm not, because I'm about trying to build my family and have a place that we can depend on each other. So I'm not against certain things. I'm just letting you know this is a result of that. You know what I mean? You can take it how you want to take it. You can take it, be offended by it, but it is what it is. And based on, precedent, and based on stereotype, based on racism, it allowed you to get in this position, and it only happens for people of your hue. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. And you can accept it. And we not, and too often, once again, it became weaponized. So when you hear it, a white person is going to be offended and put his guard up.
So what? Let them be offended. I'm saying it for you to be offended. I am saying that for you to be offended. I want you to be offended when I say that. That's what I actually want you to do.
But that a lot of times that doesn't get the job done. It's not about offense. It's about recognizing, let's understand what's going on.
You are there because you are white. That's what I'm saying. Brad, we couldn't change it no way because I'm not the boss. I'm not the owner of it.
Yeah, but it's the same arguments that somebody, I know it's the same argument. You are there because your father is blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And people, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, and for me, I'm happy to my son. All right, I'm good. So, but if a white person like, all right, my right privilege, I'm happy I got it. F you, bye. You're going to be, that's what I'm saying.
The issue with that is, because we got to put things in context. So like when that's why black people can't be racist. That remember we had that conversation. Mm-hmm. We systemically, my nepotism or our nepotism is not going to hurt everybody. Their nepotism, we don't get anything. We don't get any jobs, right? Their nepotism means that they stay in power and in ownership. One society, one color, one hue stays in power for forever if they just continue with nepotism. That's why nepotism is wrong for them. So yeah, nepotism, like in a vacuum, of course, you look out for your own. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. But when you are all in power and you just look out for your own, that means nobody else can get looked out for. That's the problem with nepotism right now. It's just the idea of racism. Our emphasis, yeah. So okay, Rat. We can let Asen be the next person on the podcast. Fine. That's cool.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
No.
But
true.
that's how it. But I'm not.
But the owner of Spotify is giving that to his son. You get what I'm
Yes, and
saying?
he should.
Yeah.
And he
Okay,
should.
You say that. Okay, but then
And he
but then
should.
What about every entity ever?
Black
Well,
people can't create. Black people can't create. Black people can't create, and we just have created wealth, and wealth is coming up, and it's possible.
Okay, you say
It's happened. It's happened.
No, we don't. I don't want to get too deep in that, but because that could be a different topic for another.
You get what
day.
I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah. So Rap, I do want to lay out this analogy, and let me know if it's apropos to the situation, right?
Ask Mills.
What you were saying. Well, no, I don't. It's gonna be like a yes or no. Then we're gonna move on to the next topic.
Okay.
Mills coming in first. So Rap. So this is what I kind of equated to when I'm trying to explain to people what Stephen A. mean. It's like this, right? Is say the owner of the Nets, for this scenario, owner of Nets pull up in an 01 Malibu to a restaurant, and he gonna do valet, and it's a black person there. He like get out the car, throw him the keys. Good luck, buddy. The gear stick. Good luck parking it. And then, but the next owner then come up with a Ferrari. He pull up to valet, and there's a black person. He's like, ooh. Now he just conveniently notices the white person that's also working there. But here you go, Timmy. Here you go park the car. So I think that's what Stephen A. was saying, right? Like, yeah, it's easy to give Derek Fisher, Jason Kidd, Isaiah Thomas those jobs when it's just O2 Malibu where you aren't expected to be good. But the Brooklyn Nets should be in like the Eastern Conference Finals next year. And I don't think J. Kidd get that job if he retire. I don't think Derek Fisher, he definitely don't get that job. The Knicks was a terrible team when he got the job. I think coaches like that, they get the O2 Malibus. Like good luck with these Warriors. But then Steve Kerr come in and was like, all right, now you win. So I think that's what Rad is saying. I think that's what Stephen A. is saying. And then two, no, I'm going to answer Mills, then we're going to move on.
No. We got to clarify something, though.
Oh, what's that?
We got to clarify that. And I think this was Rad was kind of getting to, because we do have a white audience. We are not saying that white people do not work hard. That's not what we're saying. So I just want to be clear in saying that we are not saying that certain people did not work hard for what they got. I'm not saying that we're not talking about all white people. We're just saying that white privilege does exist and we see it happen all the time.
White privilege doesn't mean that your life isn't hard.
Yeah.
It means that your life isn't hard because you're white.
Yeah.
Like my life could be hard and I'm gonna get stopped by police every other day.
Yeah.
So, but to Mills, you talked about Steve Nash and he's a point guard. He's a great player, so he should get a job. Bro, you can't really name a great player that became a great coach.
Chauncey Billups was better than Steve Nash.
It's few.
I said it.
It's few and far.
He's not a head coach nowhere.
He should be. That's what he's saying.
The Isaiah Thomases, the Magic Johnsons. You go to football. Like those, the great players does not mean you become a great coach. Like normally it's like the middle of the pack players like the Steve Kerrs, the Phil Jackson.
But I wasn't saying he was going to be a great coach.
Magic Johnson's a terrible coach.
What are you talking about?
No, you saying that the
great players.
Phil Jackson's
doesn't mean you're going to be a great coach. Normally it means you're going to be a terrible coach. It's hard to teach because a lot of like Steve Nash, the game comes natural to him. So it's hard for him to teach you that because I just do this. Well, I can't do that, Steve. How do you do it? I don't know. I just do it. So I do want to say that just because he was a great player or a two-time MVP doesn't mean he's going to go win the championship next year. The Knicks could be terrible and he could get fired before do
you think Sam Cassell can do as good a job as Steve Nash can do it in Brooklyn? He been assistant coach for Clippers forever. I think ugly bias is hurting him. Like I think he just don't look the part. He's like an alien. Like maybe that's why. But he's more qualified than Steve Nash. Period. It's that simple. There's no way around it.
I agree.
There's no way around that.
I agree. But the only issue what I have with the Steve Nash, because Kevin Durant did not want Sam Cassell.
Yeah.
So
what?
That's my only point.
But
no, it's not so what.
It is so what.
No, it's not.
I mean, yo,
LeBron,
okay, we know.
LeBron wanted to fire Spoelstra, and dude was like, "Nah, bro, we good.
He didn't have as much juice as Pat Riley. Go figure. Like, what
I'm
you
just
talking
saying.
about?
So it can be a so what in some instances. This guy's the better guy. This guy's better for us, and we gonna roll with you.
So what when you have Pat Riley right next to you? That's that. Then okay, it's so what? Nigga,
All right, but you making anything I say you can add to something like that.
No, I can't.
Yes, you
I'm
can.
only adding for specific situations.
Whatever.
This happens to be one of them.
No.
All right. So Mill, we are going to move on. A lot of PWIs, white privilege. So let's get into just quote unquote straight sports. And once again, man, Richard Jefferson. I don't know how he keep ended up on my timeline. If you share anything from Richard Jefferson, I will now starting today block you and unfollow you. But with that said, Richard Jefferson made another headline. He said, "Do I have a quote?" He said, "Giannis might be a Pippen." There, I said it. He need his Jordan. So, Rad, so I want to go to you. So the Bucks did avoid getting swept, but Giannis got hurt in the second quarter and didn't come back. Middleton did step up, ball out. What you say?
You said you was going to Mills.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I'm going to Mills. My bad, Mills. So Mills, I'm coming to you. So Giannis balled out. Giannis got hurt. Middleton balled out. And they won the first game of that series, 3-1, without Giannis. So do you hold any weight to what Richard Jefferson said about Giannis maybe being a Pippen and he need his Jordan? Or do you think that was more of a headline grab that Jefferson was trying to do?
I think it was the honest to God truth. And it makes a lot of sense.
So you agree with him?
I agree with 100%.
Okay. Really? Go ahead, why?
100%. Reason being, don't get me wrong, Giannis is a great player. Giannis is also the only player on that team that averages over 20 points. His supporting cast is by far terrible. The Milwaukee they're really only as good as they are because of their defense. They're probably, I think, top defensive team last year, number one.
This year too.
And offensively,
they're the number one offensive team. They're the number one offensive team as well, though, Mills. Sorry to tell you that.
Right. But check this, though. But they don't have a killer. Giannis can't win games by himself. They gel better without him because Giannis wants to be that go-to person. He wants to be the person to I'm sorry?
They had the most wins in the NBA. So you're saying he can't win games late, right?
Or in
the playoffs, like when it matters.
Correct.
Okay.
He can't carry a team on his back.
Okay.
If you look at their starting lineup, besides Giannis and I believe Middleton averaged about 18 career. Everybody else is under 14 points. You know what I'm saying? He don't got nobody that can come in a game, and just take over. Giannis is a poor shooter. He's just an inside player. And when he's out the game, don't get me wrong, the team gels a lot better, but they don't have that person that can kill a game. And you need a killer, man. You need a killer. The way the league is going, it's more so the way the league is going right now. If you look at all the teams, you got two superstars, you got two potential Hall of Famers, maybe, on most of the teams. And those are the teams that are winning championships at this moment. And Milwaukee not back in the day.
Yes. If you look at all championship teams, except two, well, that's not even true. Really, except one. Only is one championship team that never had a Hall of Famer, and that's Detroit Pistons. And then Ben Wallace is, but we know he's not. So,
no, he's not a Hall of Famer. Ben Wallace not in.
Oh, he's not. Okay,
Rasheed might be the only one.
I don't think Rasheed is a Hall of Famer either.
He's not in.
Maybe Chauncey. What I'm saying is, Mills, if you look at historically,
right, but the main thing is on most of those teams, right? If you get rid of one of those players, your team can potentially go over 500. Correct?
I would assume so. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what. Yes. I don't know what you're saying.
Milwaukee, if you get rid of Giannis, you'd be lucky if they win 25 games.
All right, so bro, you're not that. The question is, do you think Giannis is a Pippen and he need a Jordan? Are you saying Giannis is a Jordan and he need a Pippen?
No, Giannis is not a Jordan. He's not a killer.
Okay, so he's a pimpin'. Okay,
but because you laid out an argument that without him, the Bucks are terrible, and that sound like
Which
a
is true
Jordan
too.
to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The whole point is you need that other person. They don't have that other
yeah.
person.
Absolutely.
Well, but Mills, that's why I want to get to what you're saying, because the other person could be the Pippen. Like if Chris Middleton was better, are you saying Chris Middleton needs to be better, or Giannis is just not good enough that he need?
Chris Middleton cannot control a game.
I'm saying, but Giannis need a better player than him on his team.
Giannis needs a better player than him on his team.
Okay.
He needs somebody that can control the game, control the floor, and put him in his place.
Then, who's it on, Mike?
Hey, you go preach your head.
And I think, yes, to answer your question, Richard Jefferson did say that to get headlines. Because there's no such thing as is there a Jordan, right? So I think this example is wrong. I think what he could have said that could be somewhat better is, does Giannis need a Kobe, right? Because Giannis can be Shaq. Like Shaq did not win until he got with Kobe, and so I mean, we can go back and forth however we do that, but nonetheless, that is just the other. You know what I'm saying? That's the other piece. Like Chris Middleton is not Kobe Bryant at all, no way, shape, or form. So I think Giannis is great. I think he's a great player. But yes, he does need another piece. So my thing is, it's not necessarily Pippen and Jordan. I think it could be Shaq and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Because on the other tip, like I don't think Giannis is Dirk Nowitzki, right? And what I mean by that is Dirk Nowitzki won a championship with people who were less than, right? Jason Kidd was I think
36.
Some people would suggest that Jason Terry was the next best player. And it's Jason Terry, you know what I'm saying? So we all know that he wasn't, he's a good player, but it's Jason Terry. Yeah, it's Jason Terry. So I don't think he's that. And it took Dirk Nowitzki a long time for that to happen. I think he needs a Kobe Bryant on his team, a Bradley Beal. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that is just better than what he has right now.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think, but this is the difficult thing for me because he's in this hybrid type of player, this hybrid type of position, and he definitely need a different piece on his team that's as good as him. I would say, as good because I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna keep it a buck. He's literally just the stretched out version of Russell Westbrook. If you take Russell Westbrook and you stretch him to 6'10", it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like they're the same player. And they do the same type of things. You know what I mean? Athletic, get to the rim, dunking, shooting is your weak point. They can pass out, they dribble and kick out pass. They're the same person. So, and you know how I feel about Westbrook. The reason I respect him more of Giannis because his height, he's gonna do more defensively and he's gonna rebound. It's gonna be, I think, it's a better impact on the game.
Why is Giannis not Shaq?
Because he has stretched out Russell Westbrook.
What I'm saying is, I'm saying is impactfully, like it's the same numbers.
Because it's not
28 and 13.
Yeah, but it's how you getting. Is you fouling out everybody? Is you getting to the foul line all the time? It's Shaq was different. Shaq was literally everybody getting fouled out. Shaq was getting to the foul line. Shaq was slowing down the game.
Giannis gets to the foul line.
Giannis speeds up the game because he wants to get it going. He don't want the defense to set up. Right, so it's a different thing. He's not as dominant because he doesn't literally control the tempo, but he speeds it up. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, he's a stretched out Westbrook, and I don't think that type of player. Well, I don't think Westbrook can do it, and I don't think Giannis can do it by himself. He need what Middleton was last game. Somebody can just go get it, like killer moments. Go get to your spot and go. Like Giannis don't have a spot. You know what I mean? He doesn't have Giannis about to do this. Get to a spot and do. He gotta figure out what the defense is, react and do something, and whatever that is, a fadeaway, a three, a dunk. You know what I mean? It's not something he gonna dictate. He gotta wait for the defense to show its face and then make a move off that. So he needs somebody like you said, like a Kobe. I definitely agree with that point. It's more of a Shaq and Kobe thing. Somebody on like as good or become ascending to what you are, and not somebody. Like Bradley Beal, I don't think will win, but they'll be better than now. But I don't think they will ultimately win. He needs somebody like really close to his level to like ascend to that next level. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Because James Harden not gonna win with Russell Westbrook. He probably gonna win.
So Mills, I do want to come back to you because you said something that I hate, and I didn't cut you off because I'm trying to get better, bro. I'm trying to improve. But you said that the Bucks play better without Giannis. They gel better. Do you believe that? But then you said they will only win 20 games if he didn't play. So I don't know. I don't get it.
You can gel, and because it's nobody. Huh?
Use me as an example.
Use you?
Yeah, you would say that in high school y'all played better without me.
That is true.
Yeah, so I mean it's the same, but clearly y'all were not better without me.
Who would say that though? Why? Who would say that?
Mills just said it.
But Mills, why are you saying that? Why do you think we were better without Preach?
No,
I don't even get that.
No.
Yeah,
I said we gel better without Preach.
You less talented. You less talented, but a better team.
No. I know, but that's not true. But why is he saying that though? Like,
why isn't it true though?
The ball moves.
Because we were not better without Preach on the floor. What do you mean?
He didn't say better.
That.
It was how did we? So we are worse, but we are gelling like everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. Okay, so we passing the ball around, but nobody's scoring.
We're trying. You're trying. You're trying to get
like it's the same.
Man.
It's the same. It's the same thing for me. How I said Houston Rockets are a better team without Westbrook. It's the same thing. It's like an insane thing to say,
but that's not true.
I think it's true. I believe it's true. I see how they play. I feel like they're a better team. But it's Russell Westbrook. He's the second most talented player on the team. So,
but no, not just a team, but like he's like the a top 10 player in basketball. So
I don't think so.
No, but okay, whatever. He's an MVP. Anyways, Mike,
he shouldn't be the worst one of all time.
Okay, no, Steve Nash is.
Listen, before you even explain, because I really don't want to hear it, because it's the same argument that people used to say, "Oh, man, without Cleveland." Without LeBron, them Cleveland boys are really going to ball, and they were terrible.
I don't know who said that.
When show me a team that is really better when their best player, like Russell Westbrook is not their best player. James Harden is. Show me a team that is better but their best player, whether it's football, whether it's basketball. I hear it all the time. Oh, Odell Beckham injured, so Baker Mayfield ain't got to force feed him the ball. Like, the Browns offense going to be humming now because he ain't got to force feed. Like, yo, bro. Teams are not better when their best players are off the field. And
again, Mills did not say that, but
they gel better. What does that mean?
Okay, that means
you work better together.
Yes.
But what is better? If you are not winning, what is better? What is better? Are you scoring more points?
I guess you could be more efficient.
Yeah, more efficient. As far as ball movement, as far as things that you could do as a team.
I guess a morale sense, but you can't measure that. You can't measure morale.
What are we measuring? Are we measuring wins and losses? Are we measuring points? What are we measuring? Because if you're telling me that without Westbrook, Houston have more fun, then okay, fine. Okay, if you want to say that, fine. But if we're gonna say that they are a better team, well, show me.
Like me, I had Houston winning because Westbrook was gone.
Mm-hmm. That's fine, but Westbrook is not.
So that's what I'm saying.
Westbrook is not the better player, but
okay, you're right.
If I put up numbers of Houston with Westbrook and him without Westbrook, what numbers will be better?
I don't know, probably with.
And that's my issue. Like we blame the good players too much, and too many times we say this team will be better or they would gel better, whatever that means, without Giannis. And to me, that is crazy. They did win the game. But if you don't play this game, it's over 4-1.
They lost anyway. Yeah. But Mike,
they lost?
Yeah, they lost.
Oh, okay. See,
yeah, right. I understand. I understand exactly what you are saying. I'm a proponent of that, right? The best player is the best player for a reason, and you are better when you have your great players. But I do understand the idea of what Mills is saying.
In practice, show me an example.
No, because there is a such thing as addition by subtraction, right? There is a such thing as getting rid of a cancer. Christian Klinke was the best player we had as far as talent-wise. That's a fact.
Terrible. They were still
terrible. It doesn't matter. We actually did better.
No, they didn't.
What? We would not have beat Williamsville South. We would not have beat Lakeshore if Christian Klinke was on that team. I believe that wholeheartedly. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. The team actually came together, right? Like players were able to do things that they would not have that chance to do. And it's no disrespect to Christian Klinke. That's my guy. That's a fact. I just want to be honest.
I don't think Giannis is a cancer. Well, okay, but we can move on because it is a game. We do have a game Thursday. So, I mean, I don't know about y'all boys. I didn't expect to really be here. I didn't think the NFL was going to pull it off. They did. And now that we here, it's like, if it stop, I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to be hurt. So let's talk. So we got the Chiefs and we got the Texans. So Watson just got a big payday. So Preach, I just want to come to you with this, and it may be Rad, because Rad, y'all two argued about this last time. But Watson just got a contract. It's not as long as Mahomes. It's not as much monies. But I think per year he get like the second most money after Mahomes. So just from your perspective, which contract was better?
That's a loaded question, but I'll say it is a loaded question. My answer is Patrick Mahomes is going to renegotiate, right? Like we know that. That's a fact. And in a couple years, Patrick is going to renegotiate this idiotic contract that he just signed.
All he going to do is ask for more guarantees somewhere.
That is called renegotiation. I don't know if you knew that, Rat. Simply because you don't know the market, and that's so it's like all things being equal, 160 in 3 years is chump change. Because whatever it was 3 years ago, I mean, like the contracts, the NFL, all things being equal, is going to keep getting better. People are going to keep watching. Contracts are going to keep going up. So I mean, so it's like so that's why when you see it, it's like you kind of want to sign shorter deals so you can have the flexibility, one, to be able to move, and two, to be able to say, okay, my contract is up. I want more money. So I think in that sense, the Deshaun Watson contract is better simply because it is shorter.
Well, yeah, one former agent, he said that the cash flow is better than Patrick Mahomes after each year without giving up 10 new contract years. Yeah. So but we talked about that initially, that you want to get the shortest deal for the most money because you want to get to your next deal as quick as you can because you signed a deal for 160 in 3 years. All right, now I need 260. Like that's how big of a jump it can go. And Mahomes being locked in for 10 years,
he gonna renegotiate.
It was. I don't think we ever thought he was going to live that out. So, Rad, I want to come to you because we do have a game Thursday. It is the Chiefs versus Texans, and that playoff game was one of the craziest games I've ever seen. I think the Texans was up 24-0, yep. And then the Chiefs went on like a 44-0. Like, bro, I don't know. That game was crazy. So that game was Thursday. I think the Chiefs are having 1,300 fans, 13,000 fans, maybe
13,000.
So they having fans. Luckily, the fans can't be there to see the banner go up and everything. So, Rad, give me your predictions on this game. Who wins? What's the score? And guess a little bit why.
I think the Chiefs roll. I think maybe it's a slow start, but I think the Chiefs roll. I think, having the fans there, the first game, the banner flying, and that offense, you know what I mean? And offense always get rolling faster than defenses historically. And then we talk about probably. I won't be surprised if Chiefs pull off one of those Colts years with Peyton when they go 15-1, or even that 2007 Patriots team when they just run the table. I won't be shocked. I think that type of offense, I think that type of offensive power, they're gonna come. Mahomes confidence, Hill confidence, everybody locked up. I think they running back of the future, right? I think he's a clear upgrade to me than Damian Williams was last year. And I think if they had Hunt, it'd be that same energy of that youthness that's coming, and that they think that it could beat anybody. They don't think anybody really compared to them offensively. Like I think they can go every game they go into, they're gonna want to just put up 50 a game. So I think it's a lot of points on both sides comparatively, but I think Chiefs get a 40 piece. I'm going like 41-24. Chiefs.
Mill, how about you? What's your score of that game?
Pretty much similar to Rat. I have Kansas City. winning the game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game as well. I'm going 35 to 28. I think it's going to be pretty close.
Close game. All right, how about you, Preach? What you got?
I got the upset. I got
No,
Houston.
you
I think
don't.
I do. I do. I got Houston winning 24 to 17.
Kansas City 17 points.
Yeah, I don't think that it's going to be a high scoring game. I can't really envision that. It might be. I don't know.
I think so.
I
I think it's way easier to get the offense rolling again to connect how it was than getting y'all defense to connect. So I think offense is going to have an advantage this first couple games because how you have no preseason, you really wasn't you just been scrimmaging yourself. I think that helps the offense, that hurts the defense ultimately.
No, I understand it, and I do agree with that premise. But I'm saying this game specifically, I don't think it's going to be like a crazy high scoring game as the first game, only because it's COVID. Black Lives Matter. Donald Trump. I think a lot of those things, all these combined, is affecting the mind of a lot of the players. And I believe we're going to see a lot of low-scoring games coming out of the NFL this first week. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
What?
he said Donald Trump. Yeah, I hilarious.
When you was playing football and basketball, did a lot of stuff like that affect you on the court? Like when
Donald
you
Trump
court?
wasn't the president, so I mean I can't say.
So, something happened. You know, something. I mean, honestly, like I'm not trying to downplay Donald Trump effect. I'm not trying to say that, but in high school, it was way bigger things than even if he was the president.
What was bigger in high school? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, we want to talk specifics. Like something happened. No, bro. Like, you know, if something happened, like if you got female issues, female problems, that's gonna be more apparent than what Donald Trump doing if you're in high school or hooping. Like,
well, that's
your family.
But that's a child thing, though, right?
No, it's not. You don't think now, if somebody was having female, one of our friends, that wouldn't affect them more than Donald Trump being the president? That's a fact.
Never think about Trump. I never think about Trump.
That's a fact. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm not. Well, one, I didn't say y'all. I'm not talking about y'all.
You're right.
I'm talking about NFL players. So I don't. If y'all play in the NFL,
because they up to the day-to-day politics of what's going on.
It's not about day-to-day politics. Is that they're in a different tax bracket, so they are in different conversations than we are. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, you're right. All
right,
so
I watch Hard Knocks, bro, and they be just like, "Yo, we just the same boys, bro. We just hooping, we just balling now, bro. It's the only difference now. We just balling." So a lot of people feel that way, but
right, that's TV.
Right.
So overall predictions then. So Mills, who do you got in the NFC Championship, AFC Championship, and give me your Super Bowl winner?
Seattle and New Orleans. And I got Buffalo, Kansas City.
All right.
And I have New Orleans playing Buffalo in the Super Bowl.
We got the battle of the fans. We got the better fans.
But I do have New Orleans winning the Super Bowl this year.
This reminds me just go all the way. Why would you even do that? Why would you do that?
I think this is going to be Breeze last year.
New Orleans going to get us, though.
I think it's gonna be Breeze last year, and he's gonna go out with a bang.
Did you do like a Madden simulation, and that was the championship or something?
That's shady.
Nah, bro.
The Bills and the Saints, yeah, bro. That will probably be one of the lowest rated Super Bowls. The Bills and the Saints. All right, Priest, how about you? Who you got in the AFC, NFC, in the Super Bowl?
I have the Bills in the Super Bowl, and the Bills in the AFC rather, and I have. This is a tough one, but I got Pittsburgh. I got Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship. In the NFC Championships. This is tough. I got Dallas. I definitely have Dallas. And I was going to go with a sleeper team, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with
him in the horn. Come on.
Let's go with your sleeper team, bro. Let's go with your Detroit Lions. We all know who they are. like they're not sleeping enough. We know who you're going to say.
I think
The
Matt
Detroit Lions.
Stafford could take somebody to the Super Bowl
The
during the
Detroit
COVID
Lions,
season.
We know, bro.
It's
Kenny
not.
Galladay gonna have 1,700 yards.
Marvin Jones gonna be better than Kenny Galladay. Is what he said.
It's not.
We know it's Detroit.
It's Dallas and Atlanta. That's what it is. Dallas and Atlanta Falcons.
And
I
who
have
win the
Dallas
bowl?
beating Atlanta. I have Dallas beating Atlanta, and I have the Bills winning, and then I got the Bills beating Dallas in the Super Bowl.
Really? We
Yeah,
getting
payback.
revenge in the revenge game.
That's
The
crazy.
revenge bowl. Wow, that's just nonsense. What is
I
going
wish I was
on?
bold enough for that. I wish I was
Rad,
bold enough for
Rad.
that.
How about you give us a real prediction?
My prediction was real.
I got New Orleans versus Dallas in the NFC. I got New Orleans winning. And I got Mahomes and Lamar. I got KC versus Baltimore. I think Baltimore got the easiest schedule, and they probably gonna lock up. It's gonna be between them two to lock up that number 1 seed anyway. And I said how dominant either one of these teams can. I think one of these teams is gonna be close to or have one loss this whole year. Both of them might be, and they're gonna be a collision course. Hopefully, Lamar take that next step in the playoffs and get his first playoff win. And I believe that's the case. I wish I had that faith in Josh Allen to put us. I got us winning the playoff game. I do that, but I don't got us winning that next one. Yeah. So that's my team. That I got KC versus New Orleans, and I got Mahomes back to back.
Cool. Got
Against
Mahomes back to
dominant.
back. Really?
Staking his dominance as the best quarterback.
He gonna have to redo his contract after that then. But
No, he's still the highest paid by a lot. Honestly,
yeah, true.
it's like
So
it's a lot.
I got Baltimore versus the Chiefs in the AFC, and I got Dallas versus Green Bay in the NFC. And my Super Bowl is the Ravens versus the Cowboys, and I got the Ravens winning. Lamar Goat Jackson, Super Bowl MVP. I think they get it done. I think they figure out what went terribly wrong last year, and they fix it. All right, Mills. So Mills, you are the betting expert here, or at least that's what we call you. You play one on TV. So basketball was tough, right? Because the lines don't get up until like the day before, and it's hard to really tell people what to bet, record it, and put it out there. But with football, the lines are already out. The lines be out on Monday. So Mills, what are your Millie Rock solid picks of the week? If you want to include some basketball, you can. But just tell the folks what they should bet this upcoming week if they're looking for a little action.
First off, I do want to apologize for not, giving this info out the last couple of weeks. Like Mike said,
Man, people been looking for money, man. People been looking for money.
It's tough, but I do want to let it be known football season is here, and you guys will get picks every week. I was contemplating on how many picks I wanted to give you guys each and every week, and one of my favorite numbers is 3. So I'm gonna give y'all 3 games each week.
3 locks.
This week, first game of the season, this Thursday, we got Kansas City versus Houston. Over and under, I'm gonna go over 54.5.
Woo! That's a lot of
Over
points.
54.5.
lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
Like I said, 35 to 28.
Mahomes will get you. Mahomes gonna get you 35 to 40. He gonna get you that.
All right.
So I'm going over. Sunday game. One of the games everybody been looking forward to. Brady is back. Grunk is back. We got Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. This game, I am going under 49 points.
I like that.
I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Okay.
I think Brady's going to be a little rusty. I think Grunk's going to have a couple drops in the end zone. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
That's the AARP bowl right there. Dang. All right. I like that one.
Every pass is for the passing leader.
Yeah.
Go back and forth.
Yeah, that's crazy because they had to come up with the white gloves and the ball after every pass. Oh, hell no. All right, go ahead, Mills.
Third game, I was kind of shaky on which game I wanted to give you guys, but I'm going to give you our Monday night game. I didn't know which Monday night game I was going to give you guys, but the game I chose was Tennessee versus Denver. And also, I'm going to go to under 41. I don't think that's going to be a high-scoring game either. I think both teams.
Von Miller is out for the season. I don't know.
As appreciated, Von Miller is out for the season. But I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Denver is really in experiment mode right now. They're going to be experimenting to see, what their offense can do. As we know, Tennessee, they turned out to be a great team towards the end of the season once they got rid of Mariota. But Tannehill is a game manager. I don't think he's there to put up a lot of points. He's just there to win a game. So those are my picks for this week. Hopefully you guys get them in time. And don't forget to chop us out.
Man, you got whole nothing but over under. That is
the point. It was tough. You have you got Kansas City and Houston +9 -9.
Really
it was tough, and then you had
the Bills Jets. What's that? A touchdown?
Bills
Jets. The Bills gonna beat the Jets by 50.
Yep, 6.5. 6.5. Over and under 39.5.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I wouldn't touch
the Jets ain't got no wide receivers.
True, but they wasn't gonna pass it to him anyway because we got Trey White. But I think this week Mills is right. Over unders is the right pick. It's not necessarily spreads. Spreads are crazy. I mean, we don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I wouldn't touch it, right? Because
over unders.
Yeah, because you seen it's different, right? The bubble and basketball, and that was different. But we see some of the highest scores on average than we ever seen.
That's different though.
I know it's different, but we don't know what it's going to be either.
You got to make sure you pick the right teams, though. You know what I'm saying? Like there were some games I didn't even want to touch, but I mean, what the outcome is going to be anyway. But like some games, like Seattle, Atlanta, I didn't want to touch that game.
Nah, yeah. For the points, for the spread, it's tough right now. Especially the first week is always tough because you don't know who is who. Like I think people thought Miami was going to be bad. Like people didn't think they was going 0-16, but they got beat by 50 at the first week. But then they ended up being good. I think you don't know. It's tough the first week. But all right, Mills. I do appreciate that, Mills. You giving the betters something, some action.
Go vote.
So go vote too. So those are locks. We're gonna see how you do next week. So we're getting close to being done. We got about 9 minutes left. I did want to do a quick, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see what this turned out to be. We got a season ahead of us, and I ain't talking about football. I'm talking about power. First episode, Mills, you watched it. Give us a quick recap of what you thought about power.
Not gonna get into specifics, but
it's Wednesday.
Honestly,
if they ain't see it by now, then they ain't gonna watch it.
I thought it was not. I didn't think it was a bad episode.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
I don't think it was a bad episode. I think Tariq is ridiculous at this point. Like he don't know what he want to be at this point. Do he want to be a scholar, student? Do he want to be a drug dealer? Like what do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Sound like your life,
Tasha.
bro. Springs, right?
Tasha has a lot of thinking to do. It's ridiculous how much thought she has to put in. And I understand you at that point where, as a parent, you want to make sure you protect your child. But at some point,
10 toes down, bro. 10 toes down, bro.
Mills, you put that on the snitch?
No.
Yes, that's what you exactly said.
No. That's not. It's not. I'm not saying the snitch on your child and ruin your child's life. But what I'm saying is the thoughts that are going through your mind and the responses you are giving to these questions that these lawyers and stuff are asking you, you got to be smarter yourself because you're just digging a deeper ditch for yourself. Like you're just throwing names out there for what reason? Like people that they know weren't the shooter. Like just don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just be quiet. And I'm really, really last thing, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Mary J is going to turn out to be. And I'm going to leave it at that.
How about you, Preach? You over there shaking your head. What
Yankees
you
keep-
got to say?
The Yankees keep losing, man. It's killing me. But anyways, it's killing me right now. But
Rob Blue Jays.
I don't watch Power. I tell everybody after the 4th season, Power just went left. The writing was awful. After the 4th season, of course, people just was doing things that I've never seen. Ghost became a Superman. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just doing things that was like
What?
like he was
What was he
literally-
doing?
He it was amazing to me how he could hide his identity for so long, and he was like, he was Superman. But and then plot twist, he turned into Batman because he was a vigilante. He just started killing people because they did bad things. The show was so bad, and then what killed me was AUSA
Valdez.
Agent Valdez. She just like what are we doing? So you mean to tell me there is two? No, it was like literally 2 U.S. agents that was like wilding, like in these whole huge drug traffic. Like it was like, what are y'all doing? Like seriously, what's going on? First of all, they would have been fired. Like she literally was with the person of like it's ridiculous.
Now, the worst thing is when they brought 50 back, like he escaped the burning building.
Not necessarily because that was a TV moment. My issue is
what?
and what Mills said.
But it was good. It's not bad.
Tariq, it just bothers me. I don't know what they did with this character, and maybe if it was me and I was a writer, I would have at least shown some type of just like a pattern of why his mind went crazy, right? I think it was just expected. You know what I mean? Seeing so much trauma in his life, but I don't like his character development.
He seen his sister get murdered, and then killed the person.
I think it's implied that when his sister passed, he that was his guardian angel, his moral compass was with his sister. Now the moral compass is gone. He's gonna do the most evil thing that you're not expecting him to do because he don't got nobody who gonna hold. He gotta explain himself to.
Raina kept him straight.
He kept him straight. Like, I don't want to do that because it's our brain. And now I don't care about my mom or my dad. I'm gonna do everything for me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what's implied.
Again, character development there was terrible, and also I don't like the portrayal of the character, as well. So.
Yeah, I don't like how they just wanted to show Tariq running all episode. Like he was late to everything, bro. Like he was literally late
everything.
Like he half the show was him just running through campus, which I can respect that. I was late to most of my classes if I showed up.
I never ran.
I still graduated.
I think
you're a liar, bro.
The overall
you went to the
thing,
bus stop every morning with the Hush Tech.
That's high school, Mills.
Okay.
We wasn't on the campus. He's on the campus.
Well, yeah. You dormed. I didn't. I drove every day. Actually, me and Rag carpool.
But I think I understood it when I saw, I watched little pieces of it. I understood it because it was showing how all the stuff he has to juggle.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I understand it. It's just like the whole episode was just him just like running around campus all day. Like I just want to show like the campus, just show the campus. But I will say this: we talked about Mary last episode, Mary versus Mariah. And I'm a huge Mary fan. I say Auntie Mary will wash Mariah, which I stand by that 100% still. I think seeing her is the only thing I'm interested in, right? Because her family was like, okay, who are these people? Do we know her husband? Was he somebody associated with a ghost? I can't remember. But like her husband was like this big drug dealer, like Puerto Rican. Her kids are like half Puerto Rican, and like her son already killed somebody. So like these look.
That's the dude that played Bobby Brown, right?
Yeah. These boys look crazy, and like Tariq about to get tied up with them. So we're gonna see. It's not gonna be as good as the first 4 seasons of Power. Like
it's different writers, different writers.
It's different writers. It's just a different feel. It's gonna be Tariq in that age. Hopefully they bring Tommy back. He got brought up. I think he got brought up, so he may be back. I miss Tommy, but I think Tasha gonna be out of jail by like episode 4. So
you think Meth got it in him?
I forgot about Meth. That
Raw
was the
meth,
worst.
raw meth.
That was the worst lawyer. What's the word? Lawyering? I don't know. But that was the worst prosecutor I ever seen in a courtroom. He was like, "Look at my client. He's a good guy. What is this, Meth?" I love Meth, but that was awful. That was terrible. What we're gonna see? 50, maybe just 50 giving people jobs now. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see if Power live up to what it was. Then if it's good, who knows? Maybe we throw it in the culture roundtable every week and we just recap. But Preach, Brad, you're gonna have to watch it, and Preach, you're gonna have to stop boycotting it so we can talk. We can talk about it.
I'm gonna watch it. I invested a lot, so I'm just gonna see it through.
Yeah, I mean,
some things you just gotta see stuff through.
Yeah,
you know?
at this point, like Game of Thrones last season was awful. By episode 2, I knew it was awful, but like, I'm already here.
You gotta see it through.
So great show. I told y'all it didn't last quite 2 hours yet, but we got some time. We can keep going. But now, great episode. Deep stuff, Mills. We do apologize. We don't apologize, but we feel bad that you went through this, bro. Like, obviously, we text, we talk all the time. Like, if you just need to talk, call me. Like, I understand. I live in a similar situation as you. I've probably been through some of the things, so we can talk, we can rap. Also, everybody, y'all have been seeing us. Fantasy, the Bills. We have a lot that we are doing, but please tune in. Fridays, we have Fantasy Fridays. We're going to do some start sit, right? Preach. What are we doing for Fantasy Fridays? Because I don't know if I know. What are we doing?
We doing a couple true and false questions. We're doing a couple compare and contrast as far as players. And we got a couple, little tricks up our sleeve. But let me say this: if you, for all those sponsors out there, if you want us to, show any merchandise, anything like that, hit us up on our Gmail. We think it's Sports Show, whatever that is. Mike gonna tell you the right one. But hit us up on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the easiest thing you could do. And also, for all those people who think that they want to be a sports pundit, if you want to have a podcast, we do have our podcasting network. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to get on the team, you can hit us up and we can figure out what we could do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got so many. I got so many ideas that I want to do, but it's not enough time for us to do it. So if somebody do want to get on, I think that's perfect. They can tackle some of the things that we can't. And then also, Rad,
females.
Yeah, I do. I wanna get some women on the show. Evie, she got her own pod. She liked our Facebook post about coming on Sunday. So, Rad, you want to talk about that? Our Bills post game.
Yeah, our Bills post game. You want to? So we pretty much after every game we gonna recap the game, and we looking for some fan engagement. So everybody, I don't know what you got to do to be particularly picked. Is a certain thing you got to do to be the pick fan?
I sent out a post. All you got to do is like it and comment. Appreciate he wants you to like it and comment on it if you want to come on.
And we'll pick it. We'll pick you.
That's him. If you want to talk some Bills, you want to talk, it's post game. So whatever your frustration or your excitement for the win, whatever you want to talk about, come on with us. We're gonna, just vibe with you and try to get you some understanding of what happened during each game. So, like the post, share, like the post, and we have a winner every week to come on every Sunday after the game.
All right, but we doing post game, but we doing pre games too, right, Mills? So you want to tell people what's going on in pregame?
Pregame, we're gonna talk about the lineup, where we see as a strong point of each team on both sides of the ball, offense, defense. We're also going to throw our predictions for the game, score, who we think going to win. And one thing that we decided to do is we're also going to get, a guest from the opposing team to be a part of the pregame as well, and give their side, what they think also with predictions and how they think the game is going to flow as well. So if you know anybody out there for each opposing team each week. So, for instance, this week we're playing the Jets. We're going to get somebody from the Jets to be a part of the pregame.
A
So,
Jets
you know, if you know any-
podcaster though. If you just watch the games and like we don't want to talk to you, I'm sorry. We want somebody that has a Jets podcast.
Correct, that has a
So we
podcast.
can highlight and
We
also
have
get
somebody.
Yeah. I'm
Right,
saying.
I'm just
Going
saying.
forward, if you
Going
know
forward,
somebody,
like-
yep. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
if you
Mills.
know somebody, spread the word. You know, let them get in contact with us. You know, because we're open and we're welcoming. You know, anybody. We're not anybody, but we're going to talk amongst each other and come to a decision. But we're welcome to suggestions, and you know, just that people know that we're looking. We need people, and we just want to be as great as we can be.
Hey, amen to that, bro. All right. So now, yeah, I covered everything that we have going on.
Sam, do the offer. Let's go.
What'd you say?
I told Sam to do the offer.
Do the offer.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. But great show, deep topics. I'm glad we could touch on like the white privilege and the PWIs. I think it's important. I think the hell. I think it's important that we talk about stuff like that to know that people like Mills, people like Rap, people like me, like we do go do these certain things that is different than when you live in the hood. But no, we still got our trials and tribulations. No, not that we asking for sympathy or nothing. But like I said, so great show. I appreciate y'all boys for being so open, being so candid. Preach, you didn't yell as much. So we appreciate that.
Y'all wouldn't
And
let me.
overall, just a great show, And I look forward to everything we got coming up this week. So we'll go ahead and call it. And then that's all that we got for you on We Think It's a Sports Show. Hootie hoo!
Remember them regular days when there wasn't no more watches for me. Now the money keep calling for me. I'm feeling like everyone plotting on me. Gotta pray for my people to block where they stay. And I know they all counting on me. To go, we going straight to the top. You can't never look down on the streets. Remember them regular days when there wasn't no more watches for me. Now the money keep calling for me. I'm feeling like everyone plotting on me. Gotta pray for my people to block where